Okay, so this is day 2 of renovations. So today we are going to be putting built-in shelves right here, and then on this side is going to be a bench because I'm going to have floating shelves above the built-ins right here, and then I don't know, this window, I just didn't know what to do with it, so I thought maybe like a little like reading nook corner kind of thing. So I thought that a bench would be a good solution. So we are going to use this thrifted cabinet as a bench. And we're just going to build on top of it. We're going to paint it white. It's going to match everything. Okay, so the first thing I'm doing is priming this cabinet. I thought it would be so much easier to prime like when it's by itself, when it's not built in. So I went ahead and just primed it. This is an acrylic base primer. I didn't sand this before I primed it, so let's just hope it stays. Acrylic base primer kind of tends to be a lot more stickier than other primers, so I'm hoping that the paint sticks onto this. So yes, after I did that, I just went ahead and let it dry, and we are going to move on to the other side. So for this, I got two 24-inch shaker cabinets, and these are 12 inches deep, and I'm just kind of putting them up to see how they're gonna look. And we decided that we wanted to put a base on there so we could drill the cabinets down so they could be a lot more permanent, and then we could also put a baseboard down so it would look more seamless and that it's built into the wall. So first things first, we took all the baseboards out because we want this to be absolutely flush into the wall, and now we are going to go ahead and move on and build our base. So we just used 2x4s for this. We cut 2 horizontal pieces out and then 4 vertical pieces out. We went ahead and drilled those in, and then we put that up against the wall and we drilled it into the wall, and we made sure we drilled it into a stud of the wall so it was very secure. And then we're gonna go ahead and put the two 24-inch cabinets on top of there and then drill those into this base that is already secured into the wall. So everything is nice and secure and steady, and I don't have to worry about it flipping over on my kids or just anything. So yeah, this is built in, it's not going anywhere. Another thing that I wanted to point out is I did cut out a little hole in the side of the cabinet because we are covering up an outlet, and I did not want to lose that outlet. So I went ahead and cut a hole the size of the outlet on the side, and so we could still plug things in if needed. So now we're moving on to I'm just going to call it a countertop. So it's basically what is going to be put on the top of the cabinets. And it's kind of like a butcher block. We're making it out of wood. So this is a 1x16-inch board. I just cut it to size with the miter saw, and now we're going to place it on top of there and just make sure that it fits. It fits great. So this is what she's looking like now. She's all secure and into the walls. So for the 2 side pieces on the sides that are open, we just used a trim piece to cover those up, and we just nailed those in so it can be seamless to the fireplace and to the wall. And now I'm just sanding the top of the countertop so it has kind of more of a soft edge so you don't cut yourself, because this is just a piece of wood. So I'm just sanding the top so I can go ahead and stain that, and then also so it's just a little bit softer and not as rough of an edge. And so I wanted to match the stain that was on the fireplace, so you can kind of see the mantle sticking out on the right there. This stain ended up being way too dark, so I actually covered it up with another lighter stain, and I will link both the stains that I used down below in the description box. So now we are moving on to the other side. So my husband is just taking out all the little trim pieces, so everything is flushed against the wall once again, and this was a little bit more tricky. So we wanted to make a higher base because this is a bench, and that bench cabinet that we're using is just not large enough. So we are making the base a little bit higher. We're kind of using the same method as we did. We're just essentially making 2 of those and standing them up rather than just having one that was laying down like we did on the other side. So we're just using 2x4s to do this, and we're just securing them into the fireplace, which is a permanent thing in our wall, and then we're also screwing it to the wall and to the back of the wall, and we're making sure that we screw it into studs so it's going to stay there. And that is what it looks like with the cabinet on top of it. So now we need to fill in the gaps beside it. So to do that, we basically just cut up some scrap pieces of wood that we had. We cut up 4 longer pieces that were going to be standing up, and then we connected those with 4 shorter pieces that were going to be horizontal and connected to them. So we did one of those for each side. So as you can see, we're just nailing them in, and you will see in just a second what I mean. It's kind of hard to explain, but yeah, so here it is. So we have a kind of like a square on one side, and then well, I want to say a square, more like a cube on one side and then a cube on the other. And this is just making sure that the bench is not going to fall. It's very secure, and then this also gives us a place to put shiplap on. So we wanted to cover all of this framing with shiplap. Obviously we had to cover it with something, and we decided to use shiplap so it kind of looks like one seamless thing, because our fireplace is also covered in shiplap, so we wanted to just kind of have it all be one built-in thing. So yeah, so we went ahead and covered that with shiplap. Now we have to move on to the floating shelves. So with this, I went ahead and picked up a large 2x10 from Home Depot, and we cut a little piece off of the end. You can see where that crack is where we cut it. And then we went ahead and drilled pretty big holes into the back end of it. So we filled those holes with large dowels, and the reason why my husband was sanding those dowels down is so the shelves can easily slide in and out of the wall. But the other side of the dowels, where it's sticking in to this board, they're not sanded down, so they are very secure in there. So we just drilled the half of the board into the wall, and we made sure to drill it on the studs, and then we just went ahead and put the rest of the board on, and we connected those to the dowels. And yeah, it took some maneuvering to actually get it on, but it works really well, and it was in there, like it's not going anywhere. It's very sturdy, and you can't see any brackets or anything, so these are true floating shelves, and that technique really worked for us. So now we are moving on. We're gonna go ahead and cover up the bottom and the framing part with baseboards. After those baseboards are nailed in, I went ahead and caulked everything. So all of the holes, like all of the tiny little holes from nailing in the shiplap and nailing in the baseboards, and then every single crease that you could possibly see or think of, I went ahead and caulked so everything is very seamless. And once that caulk was dry, I started painting. So I'm just using a bright white paint that is special for cabinets. It's the same paint that I use for the fireplace, so it's all gonna match and blend in really well. So yes, that about wraps up how we did everything. I'm gonna show you a little sneak peek of everything. I don't want to reveal too much, but here it is, you guys. I know it's a mess. I don't want to clean it up for this video because I want to do a whole final reveal. So we're going to change a lot of other things in this living room. So stay tuned for the next video. I'm also going to be showing you how I styled the shelves, what's going in the shelves, and all the organizing of like the cabinets and everything. And yeah, so it should be a good, fun final reveal of this whole living room makeover. I'm so excited to finally have it done. It looks amazing, and I cannot wait for you guys to see the final reveal. Thank you for being here. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, so you don't miss the next video. It should be a great one. And yeah, we'll see you in the next one. Love you. Bye.